explain what these models are about in this video, I would like to show you what they are made of. It's really simple. These planets are just cutouts that were drawn on an index card. I just used the internet as reference to help me design them. For the planet's orbits, I used copper wire. Those copper wires were much of a challenge in this project because it's really hard to put them in place. So in order to keep them as they are, I use sticky tape. As the base, I used kitchen utensils. In Brahe's model, I use a pizza pan and a cake board to represent this crystal sphere that has fixed stars placed on it, which is stated in the geocentric theory. I will explain that later in the video. And for Kepler, I use this bowl that is used in baking to help me create and form the shape of an elliptical orbit, which I will also explain. As you can see, science projects don't have to be so complicated and all. They could also just be simply made by objects that you see every day. And it's really fun to create these projects and really simple but still cleverly designed. Today I'm going to explain what my two science projects are about. These models are based from the work of Tycho Brahe and Johannes Kepler. First, let me explain who Tycho Brahe is and what his theory is about. Tycho Brahe was an astronomer who made careful observations of the night sky for 27 years. He was also able to accurately map approximately 1,000 stars without a use of a telescope. His work would soon be valued by later astronomers. Before I could tell you about his theory, let me explain what was going on during his time. You see, the heliocentric theory made by Nicholas Copernicus was still a recent idea during that time. The heliocentric theory represents the universe in the way we do today, that the sun is in the center of the solar system. This was contrary to the geocentric theory, which people held on to for centuries, which stated that the Earth was the center of the universe. The geocentric theory was made by a Greek philosopher named Aristotle. So during that time, it was debated on which was right. Tycho Brahe was one of those people who held on to the geocentric theory. Because he wasn't satisfied with the heliocentric theory, he wanted to make his own theory. You see, his model is seemingly a mashup of the heliocentric theory and the geocentric theory. Here's how the model represents the universe in the way Brahe did. The Earth is the center of the universe, and the sun revolves around the Earth. While the sun revolves around the Earth, all the other planets revolve around the sun. Now we move on to Johannes Kepler. Johannes Kepler was a mathematician and a former assistant of Tycho Brahe. After Brahe passed, Kepler would eventually succeed him. Kepler used Brahe's notes to help guide him when he was studying the universe. One of the mysteries Kepler tried to solve is the relationship between the planets' orbits and the planets themselves. But it took him a long time to solve it because, like everyone else, he assumed they are perfect circles. After testing many hypotheses, he had this idea that suggests maybe the planet's orbits are shaped like an ellipse. An ellipse is almost like a perfect circle, almost like an egg. So in this model, this is how it would look like. You see, Johannes Kepler used the heliocentric theory to make up his model. Here, if you notice, the sun isn't exactly in the center of the universe. There are 2 points that are classified in the orbit of each planet. The aphelion, which is farthest from the sun, and the perihelion, which is closest to the sun. Kepler also made 3 laws which gave mathematical explanations for these 3 calculations: the shape of the planet's orbit, the speed of each planet on its orbit, and the period of revolution of each planet. That's all I could tell you about my model, and that's the difference between the model Tycho Brahe and Johannes Kepler's model. Hope you learn much. Bye!